Here we are once again, back again with the Let's Talk the Better Black Life podcast. Brother Clarence, Brother Jarvis. And this one is is a doozy. So the question on the panel today, in front of the panel today, is why are black men, well, any men, but particularly black men, why are they so unsuccessful in creating and maintaining relationships and providing for their children? So, with that being said, don't go away. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, and so Brother Jarvis, I don't know if you noticed this, but let me share with you what I noticed about us in the black community. It seemed like we do things kind of like backwards. We get with a woman, we have a baby, then we go buy a car, then we go buy a house. And instead of buying a house, buying a car, getting with a woman, and having a baby, that to me is better, a more logical order than the first way we did it. So, and I'm basing that on God. Can I talk about God for a minute?
Please do. Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, sir. So, if we look at God's example, God has, first thing he did was create a universe. Then he had to create a planet Earth for his loved ones. Then he brought the loved ones into existence. So he didn't bring us into existence in a hostile situation such as the universal beginning or the earth cooling off or whatever, however it transpired to get to where it's a livable situation. He didn't want us to deal with that, so he brought us along. After that struggle was achieved. And so what I'm saying is, I think we could take a lesson from God's example. Now, I'm asking you, what do you think about brothers kind of getting putting the cart ahead of the horse? And is that your observation as well? This is my observation. You may have a different one. So go ahead and tell the people what you think.
As always, one of the key answers is always going to be education. Or sometimes you can say ignorance. As black men, we don't know. We talk like we know, but we really don't know. Meaning that if the father is absent in the house, and he is, who's to teach a man or a young man the proper order of, I guess you could say, qualifying yourself?
Correct.
For a relationship.
But is it that we don't know, or is it that we don't want to know? Meaning that, are there places that we can go to get this knowledge and we just not interested in going there because we'd rather chase girls? Or is it just the fact that we don't even know where to go get this knowledge?
There's definitely places to go. I want to say so bad, but I don't know now. I want to say the church, but I don't even know if the church is even bothering with or developing or, teaching or educating about, male and female relationships. I'm not sure. But, I know the Nation of Islam teaches it for sure.
I think this.
You know, they have classes.
I think the church has a major issue. I have a major problem, and I'm just throw this in there real quick, brother, because I want you to continue. But the church has a major problem because the church is full of single mothers, and they cannot afford to lose that base. So, therefore, their message is going to be acclimated to them and how to, basically keep it moving as a single mom. And in my opinion, this is my opinion. So, how can they teach? I mean, that's where our women could go to learn how to be a woman, but it's how can they teach them how to do it when to teach them how to do it would be going against the teachings of single motherhood, and then so it's a catch-22 situation in my opinion. But I'm sorry, brother. Let me let you continue.
Nah, man, no problem. I mean, that in itself can be a whole discussion. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, why is it contrary to being what you're trying to make the woman the man and the woman? I mean, you know,
I think that's what they're doing, brother. That's my point. I think that's what they're doing. So it's hard when you're teaching somebody to be a man and a woman to say, okay, when you meet a man, now don't be no man no more. It's going to be hard. Once she get her hand on the control, on a remote, brother, she ain't going to want to put it down.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You know, I've heard Minister Farrakhan say that, you know, she got hold on to the reins and she don't want to let them loose.
No, sir.
You know, she definitely is the head of the household. You know, so them reins, I guess, now did she get comfortable with them? I guess she like that kind of power. Like, why give it back? I don't have to.
And it reminds me of something you were saying, last week, was that she don't really think that the black man is worth anything. She feel like she has to be in that position because you ain't really worth it. You ain't really. She got to carry you across the river. That's sad, man. But that, in my opinion.
No, it really is sad. She feels that way. You know, she feels that she has to carry you, you know, across. It really is sad. But the question today is, why are so many black men failing as far as relationships?
Failing as far as relationships and as far as being able to take care of their responsibilities as a man. Why is this dynamic happening? And what are some things that are contributing to this dynamic?
Right. Like I said before, you know, with the father not being in the home, you don't have a man or a father figure there to teach a boy how to be a man. You have a woman.
It's true.
Trying to show a boy how to be a man if she don't know.
I'm the mama and the daddy. On Father's Day, my son gave me something. Right? I can be both. What do you say there?
If you have to be, yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna sit up there and say that there aren't some strong mothers out there that know what they're doing. I can't say that there aren't now. There definitely are. But she can only take you so far.
That was my point, yeah.
She can only teach you so much. Somewhere down the line, they're going to take a man to show you or teach you how to be a man.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir. And it's not her fault. We're not blaming her. We not blaming her. We just laying out the facts. That's all.
Right. It's not her fault. It really isn't. It's not her fault. You know, but there are so many factors and so many things. Like I said, why, you know, the success rate is so low. You know, like you said before, why are so many of us, it's nothing wrong with it if you want to, especially when you're a young man and you're getting out on your own. There's nothing wrong with renting an apartment. You know, but when you begin to make some decent money.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. You say, well, why are we failing? Or why is the success rate of a relationship so low? The black man has no idea the science of money.
Right.
Nobody taught us that.
Right.
Nobody's come along to teach us the science of money. Anytime you have money, it needs to grow, like everything else in the universe. But nobody came along to teach us that or tell us how to do it.
Do you think that? See, here's my problem, Brother Jarvis. I feel like there are people that's out here trying to teach, but because of the sweet tooth our people are being given for chicanery, they turn their back on good teachers to take a devil for the hand, and grab the devil's hand, because the devil will say, hey, it's more fun over here than going in and reading this book, or
right.
following this man, or listening to this woman who got knowledge, or whatever. The devil will tell you could go and do that, and you're going to have more fun. And
right.
so it's hard, in my opinion, for our people to grasp good teaching. Because you're saying it, man. If the father's not there, okay, the father's not there. That's your first. I know you and I, we had this lesson, but your father's the first teacher to tell you that everybody ain't gonna be nice to you. There's your first one that's gonna tell you, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out there ain't gonna be nice to you. You think I'm kicking you hard with these boots. Wait till you step outside this door. You're going to run into some people that ain't going to be nice to you for no other reason other than you got a different color skin.
Right.
So, but you need somebody who can break that down to you, right? But a lot of us don't have, a lot of our young brothers don't have that person there, right?
Right.
So, there comes a self-fulfilling prophecy of how to do it and what it takes to fix it. So, brother, what I've done is I put down 16. These not the only reasons, but these are kind of the major reasons why a young black man, it falls back on what you were saying, is just not having knowledge. Most of this stuff is just not having the knowledge. So we go through it, and then we're going to try to figure out how can we bring this knowledge back into the situation. All right?
Right.
So, 16 reasons black men don't do well in society. Number one, and these are not in no particular order, but, they are very important, all of them. Number one, they participate in unprotected premarital sex, regularly. Right?
Right.
So it's a numbers game, brother. I mean, so many times you gonna go to fight. I mean, to the battleground. I mean, eventually you're gonna hit something. Eventually you're gonna hit the target. And so, the key word is premarital, and you're just unprepared. There's a show called Teen Mom on VH1, I think it is. It's either MTV or VH1. Great show, man, because it shows the girls like 16 having babies. Right?
Right.
And the girl is like happy and thinking it's a cute little thing. And the dude is like, man, I'm trying to go play some video games. He's just totally out of the guy. They show the guy, man, he's not going to the baby appointments. He's out riding motorcycles with his friends. He's just not there.
No sense of responsibility.
Exactly, brother. No, but you got a responsibility that's looking you in the face, and you got to deal with it, right? But yeah, somebody has to deal with it. So a lot of times, what do? In my opinion, they leave it to the parents, right? Let them, or she'll figure it out. Let her deal with it, because I ain't ready to handle that. Okay, but then they go out and do it again. And it's just, now this one child that don't have a father in their life, because fathers don't usually typically live with them, right? He lived with his parents. Right. He's 16. She's 16. Father's not there. He's only there when he comes to visit. And the girl is like, she like a banshee. You ain't come here and visit little Ray Ray, because little Ray Ray is asking about you. And she thinks by pressurizing him into going to visit that she's going to build a family with this dude. Like this dude's going to some kind of say, I mean, she's just making herself more unattractive by nagging him. And she doesn't realize that, right? Okay.
Right.
So my question to you, because maybe it's me, do you think unprotected sex, premarital sex, unprotected, well, I wouldn't say, let me say it another way. Do you think what's the word I'm looking for? Having premarital sex a lot, unprotected, is a recipe for disaster?
Yeah. That's if you're young. Yeah. And again, putting in that equation, there's no sense of responsibility.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, what problems does that present?
It's like putting a 5-year-old in the car seat, or not in the car seat, but in the driver's seat. That 5-year-old gonna wreck that car.
Right.
You start the car up, put it in drive, and watch what happens.
Right.
So yeah, that is a recipe. A 5-year-old in the driver's seat is a recipe for disaster. They're gonna wreck that car.
Now the next one I got is kind of heavy, and that one is, acceptance of the current hip hop culture, meaning like the love and hip hops, the music, and the clout culture that we have, meaning that you ain't nobody unless you got 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers, or you ain't really nobody. And what you think is, well, first of all, is that a problem in your vision? And if so, what is the major issue? What are the major issues that presents itself?
Accepting hip hop culture?
Yeah, the current hip hop culture, which says it's okay for women to bag as many bodies as they can, keep going and going and going and going. We got so many rappers. We got another rapper that just passed away about 2 weeks ago, and another one passed away about a week before that. He was killed in gun violence, and hip hop is the only culture where all your artists are being killed, basically. And so the death, the violence, the drugs, and the destruction that it seems to be walking hand in hand with this current hip hop culture. I mean, that's the way I see it. What do you see? Because maybe we don't see, you know what I mean?
Sometimes the hip hop culture itself, I like it. I mean, because it's a part of us in the black community. I like the negativity of it, like you said, as far as promoting that black women bag as many bodies as they can. If you was to ask them in the industry, I guess a Carly B, and Nicki Minaj, I'm pretty sure they would, if you was to interview them, they would let you know that that's not what we're promoting at all. And I can't say that you're not wrong for looking at it that way, or anybody's wrong, because it's like, well, you're very sensual and or sexual in your videos. So what are you promoting? I mean, you show, if you put bait on a hook, put the hook in the ocean, the fish is gonna bite.
Yeah.
So you putting bait out there for a man, and then when he bites, you wonder why he behaved that way?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's unfair to even do that. So to look at it that way, I can't say you're wrong. It's like, well, you're telling me you're available. Look how you're very provocative. You're telling your body language, and you're telling me this.
Yeah.
But a lot of women, if you tell them you need to dress down, or they get offended by that. Why are you offended by me advising you to get a man to, I don't want to say behave himself, but to force him to respect you.
Yeah.
You can't show him the good.
Yeah.
You really can't show a man anything. His imagination is vivid and wide anyway.
Well,
he doesn't need much.
Right. Yeah.
True. For him for his imagination to take off.
Yeah, but I think we all can appreciate the I don't want to say strength, but the power in which the current hip hop culture tries to portray itself. But like we're talking about, see, we're raising women that don't know how to be women, or we're raising females that don't know how to be women. Then they get to a certain age and they say, what happened? How come there ain't no men? There ain't no men around. And it's not because of that. It's because they're too masculine. And men don't like masculine women. And unfortunately, the hip hop culture supports masculine women. The women pretty much most of the time have to have a masculine framework on them. And good luck to anybody who would marry any one of those type of women who walks around with a masculine frame. Good luck to you. Because it's difficult. It's difficult to be in a relationship with a masculine woman because you're never going to be right, and it's always going to be your fault. I don't care if she did it. You should have stopped her. You know what I mean? So it's a difficult thing. But I don't like the hip hop culture promoting to the girls that it's okay to have 100 bodies, 200 bodies. Because now then what you're going to expect is a man to come in and want to deal with you like you are, you don't have that much road work on you. And that's going to be unfair to him. Because once he see how much road work you got on you, why is he going to want to pay new car prices for a used jalopy?
Yeah.
Even though you got a new coat of paint on you and, you know what I'm saying, new windows and all that, but still, under the hood, it's still the same beat down engine and transmission. So that's my point with the hip hop culture. It's not really leading our girls or our brother or the brotherhood. The brotherhood is the same way. It teaches them to be violent towards each other, and the sisterhood. And nobody says anything. Nobody says anything. There was a time when people would stand up and say, hey, this is not good. But now, I guess most of those people say, hey, if y'all black people like it, we love it. Keep on teaching your girls how to be promiscuous. Keep on teaching your men or your males how to kill each other. Everything's going to be great. Long as you don't bring it over here, we're cool with it. That's the part that gets. That's the part that gets. So they following. It's like the Pied Pipers, man. They just follow you out to a place of no man's land, and you can't come back. It's difficult to come back. At least that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And it's like Minister Tony once said, there's they got the beats are so good that they ensnare the people because of the beats. They don't even know what they're actually listening to until they break it down later and they see what they actually listen to. Then they got a decision to make. Am I with this or am I not with this? Right?
Right.
We all listened to the Chronic. And we all was like, man, that's bomb. Until we broke down the lyrics of everything. It was like, wow. Then we had to make a decision. Am I with this? Can I really have this plan with my children in the car? Can I?
Good question.
You know what I mean? Can I have that happening? What can? Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, we got decisions to make as adults, as parents. We have decisions to make. So I think that the hip hop culture is definitely following that culture. Is definitely leading our people to believe like, hey, you can. Same thing with the young men, man. You can bag all these bodies. That's what's gonna really make you a man when you got all these bodies under you. But does that make you a man?
Right.
Right? I'd rather sleep with one good woman than 1,000 bad ones. Flipping them all over the place. What good is it?
What man in his right mind would? And like I said, and it's really not good for the woman for her to sleep around like that. Especially for a woman. A man is a little different, but for a woman, now how do you differentiate between a good man and a bad one? Because your heart, because you ain't like the man. Yeah. You all, everything kind of go together from what I understand.
Yeah.
But with a man, he can somewhat separate.
Yeah.
He can sleep with a woman. To him, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Like I tell sisters, if you sleep with a man, see, if I cheat, it's different if you cheat. What do you mean by that? It still may hurt you, but when I cheat, a lot of times I really didn't think about it. I just did it. But when you cheat, you thought about it. You thought about that.
Well, I think they're becoming
you waited.
I think they're becoming so masculine, man, that they're getting into a masculine frame where they don't even care anymore. I mean, it's like they're not even. It's just like they just bagging bodies like us, man. Now, I will say this: they're different, like in this regard. Like unlike the man, the man can. Now, this is just we're just talking about wear and tear. A man can bag 100 bodies. He can bag 100 bodies. It's not going to wear and tear on him as much as a female. A female bags 100 bodies. It's going to really wear and tear. It's going to show. It's going to really make its mark. And so it's going to make a mark emotionally. It's going to make a mark physically. And it's just, and it's not healthy, especially in today's, man, it's not healthy, man. You just can't go running out there, man, just banging around like back in the day. You get a little shot and you be done with it. Now, man, there's so many things you could come down with. And now they got the COVID on top of that. It's just so many things you could come down with. It's just, it's better to try to find someone. I'm not. So you saying, oh, Brooklyn, you saying I shouldn't go out with no women? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you can go out with women. You don't have to bag them all. Go out with a bunch of women. See what they're talking about. You know what I mean? There's some women you gonna go out on a date. As soon as you pick them up, you already know, man, this ain't going nowhere. I'm just not physically attracted to this lady, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, too, you don't really start developing that till you start getting older. When you're 20, you even deal with their attitude because you ain't paying no attention to that.
Okay.
It's only when you hit the 30s, I believe, you start to go like, wait a minute, do I kind of want to put up with this? Because as you get older, your tolerance goes down.
Right.
And nobody wants to deal with a nasty attitude. Who wants to deal with it?
Right.
And as you get older, her nasty attitude takes away from her physical attributes.
It's not worth it.
But that's only as you get older. Yeah. But when you're young, you don't care.
Yeah, well, I think when you're young, you got a different, like we were talking about before, you have a different set of standards. But when you get, like you said, when you get a little older, you've been there, you've done that. Now you looking at it like, okay, I've been there and done that. I bag bodies, so what am I getting besides that doing this? And when you look at it, you ain't really getting nothing. You're like, why should I be involved with that? You know what I mean? So why should I do this? Don't make no sense to me because I ain't getting nothing out of it. But anyway, that's the hip hop culture situation. I think that situation is a serious situation because, like I said, we're not even in control of that situation where it's so far out of hand that it's being used as a tool to drive the people into hell. And how do we tell the young brothers, hey, don't, you going down the path of destruction? They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it, brother. So it's like, man, you got to chip away at it. But that's that. So next thing is on the list, man, like you said before, there's no fathers. There's no fathers in the home to model after. So there's so many single mothers out there, man, that unfortunately the fathers are not, they chose to have babies with guys who were not ready for fatherhood. And they could see that, and they decided at some point, I got to let this man go because he's not ready to deal with this situation. I could do it better on my own. Okay? But now it's nobody to teach this boy how to put a suit on, how to, shine his shoes, how to, take a punch, how to roll, how to, how to get over a breakup, I remember one time, man, I really liked this girl, man. I really liked this girl. And she played me so far to the left, man. Oh. And I was so infatuated with her. I couldn't figure out, like, what is she wasn't even that cute, man. I was like, what am I so stuck on her for? And I hated it. I hated the fact that I was stuck on her. I wanted to not be on, but man, if she called, I would stand to attention, right? Well, this girl finally broke up with me, man. She got tired. She was like, man, I'm tired of, she was actually playing two of us, me and the ex. So I was used as bait to bring the ex back into the situation, right? So she quit me, man. So my father saw me, man. He was like, what's the matter with you? I was like, so-and-so broke up with me. I thought he was going to say something, encouraging. He started laughing, man. He started laughing, dude. And I was like, what's so funny?
Yeah.
And he is just like, man, you think you got a problem? He just laughed and he walked away.
Right.
I'm left. See, now, Brother Jarvis, that's old school. See, they do something and then they walk away and they let you figure out what the hell happened. You figure out what I was talking about. You figure out what was going on. So that was, but I had my father in the house. That was a fortunate situation for me. I didn't always see it as fortunate because the man was, woof. Yeah, he was not that person that his coworkers knew. He was a whole other person at home. You know, he was
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But he was there. I got to give him credit because he was there.
Right.
But there ain't no fathers out here to model, man. Now, what kind of effect you think that's gonna have on these young men where they don't have no? Because people, they model what they think is a good thing for them to behave like. They try to, most people will find a mentor, whether the person know they're a mentor or not. If they'll try to find a mentor and try to pattern themselves after the mentor. But if there's no father there, at least you could pick the stuff that you like about the father. You can say, hey, I appreciate this part of it. I don't like this part, but but if there's nobody there, how do you do it? What do you do? That's a question for you, brother.
What do you do if there's no father there?
Right. How do you get the mentoring that you need or you should have?
As far as the black community and young black men, we're mothers, and she's not built like this, so she'll never necessarily get it. That's where organized sports comes into play. Little Clarence, they don't have parks in communities every so many miles for no reason. Nothing is just so. Nothing is just so.
Right.
It's a scientific fact that if you go to college, they'll teach you this. I don't know if it's social studies. I know there's a course, but they'll teach you this. There's a reason why they have parks so many miles in every community.
Right.
Because young men and young girls too, and a community, you need to get out.
Right.
And physical education is a part of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything else, like art. It's a part of life.
Right.
So when you say, where do you get this mentoring from? That's where organized sports comes into play. Basketball, football,
right,
soccer, boxing. All that comes into play.
Uh-huh.
Now the term that they've used in the last, 30 years is soccer mom. Well, the reason why mothers pick soccer because it's the least contact sport.
Correct.
And my boy won't get killed out there.
Right.
But you're taking something from him because boys by nature are aggressive.
Right.
And some boys need football.
Yeah.
Some boys need basketball. Basketball is very, very physical and very demanding.
Yeah.
As far as, cardio, it's very demanding.
Yeah.
Running up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You got to play defense and offense.
Yeah.
It's very demanding.
Yeah.
And there's so many lessons in organized, sports, in Pee-wee football, organized basketball, Little League basketball. There's so many lessons in that
baseball
for young men to learn. Yeah, baseball. There you go, baseball.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn in all that.
Yeah.
But then Reagan cut a lot of that out too, and that's a whole nother story. All that stuff used to be free.
Yeah,
all of
man.
That.
Your favorite president, man. Your favorite president, Brother Jarvis. Cut all that. Cut those programs, brother. He said
Reagan cut all that.
He said if you ain't rich in America, it's on you. It's your fault.
Right.
We don't need to subsidize that no more. Well,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So this mentoring that you're looking for, as far as for young men, that's only one avenue. You know, the Girls and Boys Club.
Yes.
You know, all that. You know, needs to be. It needs to be, to me, federally funded. That needs to be all federally funded. You know,
Yeah.
after school child care, to me, needs to be federally funded.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things. So to make it to where, you made divorce a profit, why not make child rearing a profit? You know,
Yeah.
and you made the mother to work. Well, somebody got to watch that baby. She's still at work at 3:00.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, somebody has to watch the child.
And you should have.
And make it profitable to watch children.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, all this, and then with that, you know, bringing back to the question, where do you find it? You know, if you're going to make it profitable to watch these children, then set up or an after school program. Set up something where, okay, it is after school, but it's something organized. Okay, since we got to watch it for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, we put them in something organized where, you know, you're going to be here for 2 hours. Well, we just can't have them sitting here doing nothing. Don't do something. Either do your homework or, I don't want to say make them play basketball, but give them something to do.
Yeah. Karate, something.
You know,
yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Martial arts. Yeah. There you go. You know, so, you know, this mentorship, but to me, it needs to be federally funded. You made divorce profitable, make that profitable.
Yeah, but divorce
more people would do it.
Divorce is not federally funded, my brother. So, you know, that's...
No, it's not federally funded. Well, yeah, no, it's not. But I'm just saying, it's just saying in this society, you made certain things profitable. You can destroy a relationship or will help build a community back up.
Yeah, but see, whenever something like that happens, you got to ask yourself, who's going to benefit? You got to be like them detectives when somebody gets murdered, first thing they go is, who's benefit from this person being dead? Oh, right. The person who named on the life insurance. Let's go check that person out. Okay, well, in this situation, who's going to benefit from them putting billions and trillions of dollars into that kind of situation? It would be us. We would be the most beneficiaries, the greatest beneficiaries out of it, right?
Yeah.
But who wants us to benefit at that level? Who really wants us to, who in power, I should say, wants us to benefit at that level? They want us to benefit so far, but they got jails that they building. Who you think they're building them jails for? They ain't, you know, they expect a couple of white boys to land up in there, but everybody else, they mostly building them for us. For those of us that cannot be, that get frustrated. Those of us that get frustrated with trying to follow the mainstream agenda and take matters into our own hands, right? There's brothers out there that say, I don't want to work because it don't make no sense for them to spend 40 hours a week at a job when they can just go rob a bank. I mean, that's how they think. The money right there. I can just go get it. Or I can rob this drug dealer or whatever. I could just go get it. Why do I have to go and work for 40 hours, right?
Right.
And they need a place for brothers like that. I'm telling you how they're thinking. Because, you know, there's going to be a small percentage of brothers that's like that got that much testosterone, that kind of thinking process. And when you put it all together, they're not going to be, there's no, they're not going to go and read the law books to find out what they can and can't do. They're just going to move. So we need a place to put those people like that. And so I feel like that's why they're not going to invest in those kind of activities anymore. We, the black people, we got to invest in it so that we can keep those things going or create avenues where those young men can get taught. Because if they're not getting taught at home, like you said, then a portion of them going to go and be in youth sports. Okay? But what happens to the rest? The majority of them are not going to be playing sports. Where are they going to go?
Right.
What are they going to do? Right? So we need to have a full program for educating them on what's going to happen after you get to a certain point. You know, police look at you just like they look at me. They'll throw you up in the air. They'll put their knee on your neck just like they do me. So you need to be prepared for that. How do you handle that? How are you going to handle a confrontation with the police so that you can go home? Right? So I'm thinking like we said, you know, without a father in the home, young men are exposed to all these different things, and these things keep them they fall into the traps set for them. You know what a kill zone is, brother?
Kill zone?
A kill zone.
Depends on the context of where you use it.
A kill zone like a military, they will have what they call a kill zone. They will have a place where the enemy has to enter. They can only enter from one location, and they can only exit from the other location.
Right.
And in that zone, they can get, for example, when we told the story about how they would kick the Palestinians out of Jerusalem. You got to go down that road. Palestinians would say, but our homes are here. They said, no, not no more. You out of here. You got to go. And they send the Palestinians down that road, knowing there's another group farther down that road that's going to murder everybody. They know it already. But the Palestinians don't know. So they send them it's nothing but desert on either side. So you got to go down the road. If they got guns stopping you coming back, you got to go this way. So they just pack all their stuff and go that way, right?
Right.
And they get to a certain part, they just mow them down, sweep them off, and get rid of them until the next ones come by.
Right.
Right? But that's what they call a kill zone. That's a kill zone where their enemy enters in from one location and they can't go back. They have to go through, and they have to go through that zone, and that's when they get slaughtered. Anyway, we are in a physical kill zone, a not so much a military kill zone, but a social kill zone, where our people are not being afforded our young men are not being given the skills that they need to be productive and successful. And the people that's profiting off of it are people that invest in private prisons, right? Because they need people to go into these prisons, right?
Right.
So that's who's profiting off of it. So I think that it's a good idea, and what you're saying, you're right. It should be federal funded, but in my opinion, I don't believe that the feds are going to fund it because too many of those cats making money off of the suffering. So why would they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got wives that are running these or charitable organizations to give stuff away, give turkeys away. And that's what they feel good giving those turkeys away. But if you know how to feed yourself, you won't have to take that turkey, right? You could get up and feed yourself. Then they're out of a job. Their wives out of a job. So, in my opinion, it's just a difficult situation. I think you're right. I think that they should do it, but I don't see why they would do it. Just following the money and following who's going to benefit. I don't see why they would do it. Just to help us.
Well, and helping us, you helping your own. So you're gonna spite us, or you're gonna spite your own to spite us.
Right.
You know, the federal government is supposed to be what, everyone. So you're not helping us, you're helping everybody.
Hey, brother.
That's how it should be looked at.
It should be, but you know what, man? Some of these people, man, I was reading this thing about the Russians, and when they went into Poland, man, in the 1940s. They went into Poland, and man, they just took everything out of there. They just took the resources, everything, and it got so bad, brother. It got so bad that they would take the youngest child and kill the youngest child and cook it for the rest of the family members to eat, brother. That's how bad it got. Think about that, man. Think about that, Fortune. Your youngest child, you put a bullet in your youngest child's head. Take it and fillet it and cook it so the other ones can eat. That's how bad the situation was down there. And what I'm saying is, sometimes, man, you got some people, man, nothing is too much. You know what I mean? They feel like, hey, nothing is too much. Even if we got to run over some of our own people to do it, it's not too much.
That sounds like Donald Trump.
It's not too much, man. We can do this.
Yeah.
But that's like I said, all of that stems from, like we were saying, no father in the home. The next thing is another big one is nobody taught us how to eat to live. Well, let me rephrase that. We were not taught originally how to eat to live. Most of us were not taught how to eat to live. Right? We just ate what our parents ate. And what they eat: hog maws, chitlins, fatback, salt pork, everything that we probably shouldn't be eating. Well, I'm going to say probably. We shouldn't be eating. But that's what they taught us to eat. But we didn't know no better. They didn't know no better. They was giving us the best they was doing the best of their understanding. That's why God let them live so long. But you dying because you know better. You supposed to know better now. You got the information. Or you can have the information. But most of the time, man, these brothers, we lead in the world in diabetes. We lead in the world in heart disease. We lead in the world in kidney disease. We lead in all these different bad diseases. Lupus, I think. We lead in everything. Could it have something to do with our diet, Brother Jarvis? Brother Jarvis, you there?
Yes, sir. No, that's a question. I thought that was rhetorical. I'm sorry.
No. That's a question, dude. I'm asking you. I know I have my feelings, but the thing I like about the both of us is sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree. And so I'm asking you, do you think that us not learning how to eat properly has an effect, especially on these young brothers, man, who grew up on fast food? Do you think that has an effect on them, on their brain chemistry, on their bodies? What do you think?
Well, it definitely has an effect, because even the devil taught, you are what you eat. Growing up with those children, commercials, conjunction, junction, what's your function, all that little stuff like that, man. No commercials, you are what you eat. They were absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because you have some of them amongst themselves who are trying to save their own. Because they know, well, at this rate, everybody gonna die. We can't continue to live like this. So it definitely has an effect on young black men, eating the wrong food.
Yeah.
Because when you eat the wrong food, you think wrong. You think wrong,
Yeah.
you're going to do wrong. Like you said, getting back to, we ate that. That goes back to slavery. That goes back. You ate the quote unquote good part of the hog and you left us the chilling. That's all
Right.
we had to eat. So, what's the first law? Survival, or the first law is self-preservation.
Right.
That's the first law, self-preservation. So you do what you got to do. You eat what you have to eat,
right,
in order to survive.
Right.
So, but it wasn't good for you. And it's been proven. No matter how much you could burn pork, you cannot burn the worm out of that meat. No matter what you do, you can't burn that. You cannot burn that microscopic worm.
I just keep cooking it until I just keep cooking it.
You cannot burn that worm out of that meat. You can't burn that worm out of that meat. And that worm becomes a part of your system and your bloodstream. And you wonder why you get cancer.
I just keep cooking it, and I'm going to boil it first, then I'm going to cook it.
Yeah,
then
in vinegar. Yeah, I've heard that. Boil it in vinegar.
Ooh, man. But, hey, everybody has their... So let's preface it with this, Brother Jarvis, before they hit us up. We are just talking facts. We're not talking... We don't have no opinion because both of us ate pork before we came into a certain type of knowledge. So we're not saying nobody's a bad person. We're just saying that is not a healthy... meat in general is not actually healthy, but it's definitely pork is definitely not one of the it's the least of the least of the meats that are healthy, where healthy meaning parasite infused meats. So that's what we're saying. Sorry, Brother Jarvis.
No, go ahead. I mean, were we concluding?
Yeah, we were just concluding on the fact that they don't know how to eat. So if you don't know how to eat, you don't know how to live, because you live through your stomach. And if you don't eat properly, you won't be able to think properly. If you can't think properly, you can't sleep properly. And therefore, you're just all out of whack. So you're frustrated all the time because you want something to eat that's good, but you can't have it. You want to think well, but you can't think well. And you want to sleep well, and you can't sleep well. So you're frustrated. So you try to find other ways to take it out. And then, of course, you act out and may be impregnating women or being violent or some kind of way, just where you not able to control ourselves in a productive manner.
And all the time wondering what's wrong with me.
All the time. Because not knowing. Just not knowing. Yeah. Let's move on, brother, because we got a lot to get to. Relationships with women who are unprepared for the reality of monogamous relationships. So we, as a young man who you don't know nothing about no monogamy. That's why, man, when I hear young men in their 20s talking about I'm getting ready to get married, I'm like, what are you talking about, man? You shouldn't be getting married until you in your 40s, right? Date a woman, you can always go back. You can always go back because, for men, women are like ice cream, man. You can always go back. Put it in the refrigerator. You can always go back and get some new one. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. Be able to reach back. So I say 45 is the standard. There's going to be exceptions to the rule because some dudes are just, they just got their stuff together early, man. They get their stuff together really early. But most dudes, it's going to take you in your 40s to kind of figure out what is really going to be required of you. So when you get married in your 20s, man, you don't really know what's required of you. You don't have no clue about the kind of commitment that you're actually making. In your 40s, man, You done blew a couple things. You already, okay, I know what kind of commitment I'm making here. I can commit or I can't commit. And you can be honest with somebody. But these young men, they don't know. So they end up getting involved with women, having children with them, and then not sticking around or getting booted off the scene because they don't know no better, because they don't know how to keep commitments. It's sad. It's sad.
Well, in your 20s, there's so much change in your life also. You really don't know who you are. You don't even really know what you like. You think
Right.
you know, I like that kind of girl. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I like that kind of girl.
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
What kind of girl do I like? Yeah, you got to try them first.
Yeah.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Your body will tell you what you like and don't like, as far as physical.
Yeah.
But you don't know what you like.
Yeah.
You in your 20s, you like them all.
Yeah.
Nah, you really don't like them all. Even your body don't like them all.
Yeah.
Because some are better to you than others. It's like, oh, wow, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Some women your body like or is more attracted to than others. Just like that.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. But you don't know. You think you know. Oh, I like the skinny one over there. Yeah, I like the big one over there, the fat one over there. No, you don't like them both. You prefer one over another.
Yeah.
Your eyes say you like them both, but you don't.
Nah.
What does your body say? One you like more than the other. And after a while, like of course you get to your 30s, you start to discover that.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like this kind of woman. More than I like this kind of woman. But you don't know. So like I said, in your 20s, there's so much change. We're not even talking about women. I mean, they change on a daily.
Right.
Normally men in their 20s change gradually, but women in their 20s, they change every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Hard to keep up with one. Yeah.
Yeah. You ask them, why you do that? I don't know.
Especially
really don't
ones,
know why she did that.
Especially ones under 25, man. It's just it's like romper room out there. Yeah. And they cute too.
Why you scratch that boy's car? You didn't have to scratch his car.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know. You did it. You don't know why. Yeah. I was mad. And that's why you did it?
Yeah. But there ain't no repercussions. She knows she ain't going to go to jail. So she can do it.
Yeah.
Because I just got mad. I did it. Oh, well. But you key her car. Sitting in jail for 6 months.
Yeah. He's so crazy. He crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, I need a protection order. Oh man. Okay, let's move on down the line, man. Another problem, man, is this is another one. This is a big one too, man. It seems small, but it's big. Faith, man. They don't know how to increase their faith. In other words, they see mama watching Joel Osteen or mama going to the church, but they look at the church as a place where people getting hustled. How do you get this young man? Because you need faith. And I'm going to tell you here's why. You need to be able to believe that you can do something that hasn't been accomplished yet, but you can see it in your head. You just got to have the faith that'll keep you with your hands on the pump. And you need faith. I'm not saying you got to have a particular faith, whereas you say, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Jew, I'm a this, I'm a that. What I'm saying is you have to have some faith, some belief in a higher power to help you keep you straight. When you need faith to say, I can do this. I can do this. It may not be happening today. It may not be happening tomorrow, but it's going to happen down the line. And you can work towards that, right? But if you don't have no faith, what's the saying, brother? Where there's no faith.
Without faith, there are no works.
Without no faith, there's no works.
Yeah.
Without no works, there's nothing.
Yeah.
So you got to have faith. Now, the question is, I'm asking you, how do we get these brothers, if they look at the church, and not only the church, maybe the temple, as a place where people are getting hustled, how do we introduce faith back into them?
That's a good one. I mean, I can't say that the young black man doesn't see the church as a hustle game or a pimp game
Right.
or just a game period.
Right.
I mean, look at, and I don't believe in one or two scandals and that's the reflection of the whole church as a whole. I don't believe in that, but I can't say there haven't been scandals that have rocked the church world.
Yes, sir.
And there was a time where we just didn't tolerate certain things.
Yeah.
The black church has changed.
Right.
And the black church is ran by that sisterhood.
Yeah.
Sisters run that church.
Yes, sir.
Men don't run the church. Women run the black church.
Yes, sir.
Men run the mosque or the Nation of Islam. But women run the black church.
Yes, sir.
They vote the preacher in and they vote the preacher out.
Sir.
And because a woman is the way she is, her discipline isn't like a man. There was a time when the choir director, you wasn't going to be flaming and directing that choir.
Yeah.
There was a time we didn't tolerate that.
Right.
But now the black church does. Why? Because that woman is running it.
Right.
And there's a belief that that one who's flaming like that is the most creative. Now, I'm not going to say they're not creative. I can't say they aren't.
Yeah.
But there's a belief that if you flaming or you got those kind of tendencies or characteristics, that you're the most qualified to run that choir.
Right.
Because that's what they do.
Right.
You know, and it's not that black men aren't, creative. But black man, he really doesn't have given a chance to show, especially when you're young, your creative side. He really can't afford to.
Yeah.
He's, on one end, he's trying to stay alive. On the other end, he's just trying to make it. So his creative side is never really developed until he might get older. And then he can kind of like, I guess as I said, let your hair down or, you know what? I can be creative now. Now you're in your late 40s going into your 50s.
Yeah.
Because by the time you hit that age, can't nobody tell you nothing. They can challenge your sexuality and you laugh at them. You know you ain't that.
Yeah.
You can call me anything you want to call me. I know I ain't that.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
you're not giving a chance opposed to your white counterpart. He's given an opportunity and a chance, to create his, to develop his creative side.
Yeah.
He can do that, but it's like you can't. They don't let you.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, unless you're gonna serve the body, yeah, they're not gonna let you. If your creativity is not serve the body, no, gonna hold you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
like
how
I
do we?
said,
Well, my thinking is that job, most brothers don't want that job anyway, and the ones that do, be careful. Be careful. They probably want it so that they can get next to, all the sisters in the choir. You know what I mean? So be careful. But the average brother don't really want that job. So here comes this dude. He want that job. That's his job. Especially as the sisterhood running the church, that is his job. We gonna find a place for you, baby. Don't worry about it. We got a place for you. And they put them cymbals in his hands. Or they make him the choir director. They put him behind the piano or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We'll find something for you, right? Or put you on the
thing about
drum.
it is, you have to admit, he's pretty good with them cymbals or behind that piano. He's very good at that.
Man, I mean, that's what he been doing. That's when he shine, right? You get his shine big when he do that. But the question is, the young brother, he feel like, man, I know, see, this brother feel like here's a brother that ain't even like women, but he's on a higher level than me.
Yeah.
I'm nobody. This dude is
Yeah.
somebody, and he don't even like women. He's not even a regular
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Where do I fit in this equation?
Yeah.
All I'm supposed to do is
Yeah.
just come here and dig in my pocket and put money out here?
Yeah.
We need a new wing, another wing, another wing.
Yeah.
This place should have flew away all these wings we done put on here, right? But that's all I'm here for, right? Is to do this. So they get disenchanted, man, and they just say, man, F it, man, they can have it. You know, my mama's singing the choir. This dude is running the choir. My sisters are doing solo, you know, but I had to sit in a pew for 3 hours while they practice, and then I got to sit in the pews again on Sunday, and then come back Sunday night service. You know, they just get disenchanted here, and then, you know, if I go in the street, it's excitement. It's stuff happening out there. You know what I'm saying? Real dudes is being real dudes.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna take a revolution in thinking, man, as far as them feeling about how them needing their faith. I think it's gonna have to be a revolution, and it's gonna have to be a situation where having faith and having a faith is not a bad thing. Like right now, I think right now it's looked at as being soft if you have a faith. You know, most of the time, I think that has to be, because when you have a faith, it gives you standards by which to go by. You know what I mean? You have standards, and once you have standards, then you can measure your success when you have standards. When you don't have no standards, you can't really measure your success because you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going, you don't know how fast you're going, you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
But and then your faith can also teach you, like you said, the brakes. You can put the brakes on things, and you know when you're going too far. I'm going too far handling this situation with this woman. Let me back up. I'm going too far handling this situation with my children. Let me back up. I'm going too far handling this situation with my boss or whatever. Let me slow down. But with no faith, it's many people, Brother Jarvis, many brothers are sitting in the prison because they snapped.
Yeah.
And they didn't have no faith in they really didn't have a line that they said, hey, I'm over the line here. And so they just snapped and did something that they shouldn't have did. And now somebody may be injured for life or no longer with us or injured somebody, whatever. And they're doing years in prison for that.
Yeah.
For just a lost mental capabilities for a few minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got to get back.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. But that's a whole nother subject. I mean, men, young black men, you aren't taught. Really, not that I don't care how young you are, but you know, you have to develop or you have to rise above your emotions. You can't allow your emotions to control you.
Exactly.
A woman, she can. She's made that way.
Yeah.
You not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when you hurt. See, that's when organized sports comes into play, especially for young black men. I'm hurt. We'll suck it up. Get in there.
Yeah.
You got to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hurt. But you learn way back in Little League basketball that, oh man, you know, I really hurt my hand, but I kept going.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Or limp across the finish line. Sometimes it be like that, especially for a man.
Yeah. Yep. It's
almost
always like that. It's almost always like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? People, you ain't let nobody see you limping across the field. You got to limp after you get off the field. You know?
Right.
Well, like I said, you know, we got to figure that one out. how to get the brotherhood back to, having faith. The next one, we talking about things that cause black men in particular, but it could be men in general. But since we so close to the black situation, we talk about black men in particular. What causes them not to have successful relationships and just be successful in life? Period. Have many problems, and we don't want to say, oh, it's just because you black. It's a lack of different knowledge. It was once said, my people go hungry for the lack of knowledge. I mean, it's just a lack of knowledge that's causing a lot of these problems. But we get into the specific knowledge that they're lacking. It's a lack of knowledge of wealth building, brothers. We don't know how to build wealth. You know what I mean? Our counterparts will take a 10 or 11-year-old boy and start teaching him about wealth building. Son, this is what you do. You get this account, you build this up, and then you do this. And if he listen, by the time he's 18, he got a pretty good head start on how to, build wealth.
Right.
But the father's not there, brother. We already addressed that. The father's not there to teach about wealth. So who's going to teach about the wealth building? And we won't pay for a life coach like myself. We won't pay for somebody like that because we will feel like, hey, you know what? I shouldn't have to pay. I can learn that on my own. I hustle. But hustling ain't exactly how you get rich. You can hustle, but how do you get rich? Well, how you build wealth is by having certain procedures in place of how you handle your money. That's how you build wealth. We don't have no education. That's wealth building. No education on the proper use of personal and business credit. And nobody sat me down and said, hey, this is how you use personal credit. This is how you use business credit. I'm thinking did somebody sit you down and tell you that to you? Brother,
sit me down and do what?
Did someone sit you down and say to you, let me show you how to use personal credit. Let me show you how to use business credit.
No, sir.
No, sir, right? Because, it's not because they didn't want to. They just don't know themselves. They had to learn how. But I'm saying these things are being taught by the counterparts. It's being taught like when they're like 15, 16 years old. Here's how you get an LLC. Here's how you build that business credit. By the time they're 18, they got such a head start on this situation till it's so far out of whack. But if you don't know how to build wealth, then how are you gonna build wealth for your family? Right. Next thing is, we talked about building wealth. We talked about the proper use of personal and business credit. A lot of times people misuse personal credit and they misuse business credit, and they think, it's fine, but it's not fine. You got to learn how to use those things to your advantage. They can be a help or they can be a hindrance. No education on budgeting. There's nobody teaching out there. Well, not nobody, but like we said, Ronald Wilson Reagan, he was the one that defunded the school systems and educational programs. And one of the educational classes they used to have was economics. And in economics, they would show you how to budget your money once you got on your own, how to budget, how to create a budget for yourself. But because Reagan cut that funding, those classes had to go. So now the people don't know how to budget. They don't find out about budgeting until they end up having to declare bankruptcy sometime somewhere, and then they put you on a budget to pay off everything. So you don't know how to budget your money. You don't know how to use credit. You don't know how to build wealth. No education on creating multiple streams of income. right? So they don't know how to hustle legitimately. They know how to hustle illegitimately. They don't know a lot of times how to hustle legitimately. And that can be a problem. Right?
Yeah, major.
Yeah, man, because if you just got one source of income, man, it's hard on you to try to invest in business and do other different things if you'll have one boss that's controlling your money.
Yeah.
So it's better to try and learn how to create multiple streams of income. Now, there's a book called Multiple Streams of Income by a man named Robert Allen. That book is very good. It's dated because some of the information in that book at this point in the game, unless they've updated it, it's it was written I think in 2002 or 3. But as far as the principles involved, on point, right on point. That's a good book to get, and maybe I'll do a book review on that later. Anyway, you got something to say about the multiple streams of income, brother?
Not really. I mean, you could tell a young black man that, he gonna nod his head. Yeah, you right. But if you don't, you can tell him that, but you have to give him. Sometimes, see, with us, you have to sometimes give us, not only give us the principle, you have to give us the idea. Okay, I'm talking multiple streams of income, but why don't you buy you a gumball machine? And don't your friend got a barbershop? Buy the gumball machine, put it in the barbershop, and give him a cut.
Right.
Something like that. You have to give us, because we're not our head. Yeah, we hear the principle, but don't know how to apply or work.
Right.
We don't know, man. We don't know. We want to know, right, but we don't know.
You're right.
We really don't. So, with us, you have to be very, very patient with us and not go, like you said, not going back to faith. The church is full of women. It's very unattractive to young men, black men. Very unattractive. Now, why is the church so unattractive to young black men? Why? Because men follow men. And there has to be a quote-unquote alpha dog. But the alpha dog ain't be in front of the choir flaming.
Yeah. That's a bad look.
No dog won't go fire. He's not going to follow that.
Yeah, it's a bad look for the average brother, yeah.
He's not going to follow that.
Yeah.
I don't care how many, although he's flaming and he's directing that choir and all the girls in his face, that ain't attractive to him. Now, I ain't following that.
Right.
So you have to put a man's man in the preacher or the pastor. Again, we have to make it, that's kind of on us, I believe. Although I can't say the black man hasn't changed. He's gonna follow a man's man.
Yeah.
That's what he just did. He's not gonna follow. If you're not a man's man, he's not gonna follow you. The vast majority of us, over 90%, way over 90%. If you're not a man's man, I'm not following you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And the reason why we're in the church, quote unquote, because we're not gonna follow a con man either. The pastor or the preacher looked upon as a con man.
Yeah.
Man, this guy's running a game, man.
Yeah. Now
you really don't want me to give up my bill money to put in for that wing, do you?
Yeah. 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 But see, now here's the thing. So how do they get that idea in their head that the pastor's a huckster? I mean, where does that come from?
Well, you got little boys. This is just an example, hypothetical. You got a little boy that's looking at his mama.
Uh-huh.
And the mama's eyes is full of admiration towards that pastor. And that little boy let's say he knows his daddy.
Right.
But you ain't got no admiration in your eyes for my daddy. None.
Right.
But you got all this admiration for this pastor, for this man who I don't know as a little boy. I don't know this man. I know my daddy.
Right.
And you ain't got nothing good to say about my daddy. You got all these good words to say about this pastor.
Right.
They ain't gonna sit right. You know, that's one.
Right.
Not only is it not going to sit right, you're gonna have that boy look at that pastor in the way like, wait a minute, why my mama so why do you love this man? Why do you admire this man so much?
Right.
You have a 5-year-old judging a man. And he's gonna judge him too. Because he wanna know why you don't love my daddy.
Right.
But my daddy ain't that bad of a dude.
Nah.
But you ain't got nothing good to say about my daddy.
Yeah.
But you in love with this man.
Yeah.
You don't spend no time with me. And after a while, like, he ain't all that, no way.
Yeah.
You know, because children not stupid. And the world ain't stupid either. You know.
Yeah, but
you
that's
got all this admiration for this man because he's standing in front of all these people.
but that's on the sister. I'm talking about what is it on the young man, that makes him make up in his mind, this dude is pimping these people. What is it? What's happening there? What is the thought process that goes into that?
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, you got a 5-year-old looking at his mama wondering why he's so in love with this man.
Yeah.
And a 5 is judging this man.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, my mama interact with this man.
Yeah.
And I see how this man interact with not only her, these other sisters of women around here. 5-year-old. Now, a child ain't stupid, especially little boys.
Right.
One thing about a little boy, he know when a man like his mama. Besides that, he know that.
Right. Right.
He know, and my daddy ain't around, and you all up on my mama.
Right.
How you think that a little 3, 4, 5-year-old gonna act?
Yeah, he gonna step
on top
in.
of my mama.
Yeah.
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 You gonna climb on top of my mama? He ain't stupid.
I don't know if I go that far, Brother Jarvis, but he definitely saying you want to get with my mama.
Yeah, he ain't stupid.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so, I mean, that's why, and that right there, from a child, he probably saying in his mind, his heart, I don't never want to go to a place like this. This man is a con man. And my own mama, who I love, so admire, so in love with this man, who ain't nothing but a con man.
So, see, because I'm trying to find a concrete reason. So, is it that he feel like the man is a con man because his mama get all when she's around the preacher? Or is it that this man seeing y'all giving up all this money, but I don't see no results nowhere? I don't see nothing except the pastor got a new Mercedes.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing happening here.
Well, I think that too. I think that comes when he gets older.
Oh, okay.
You know, I think as he gets older, it's like, wait a minute, what the church doing? But I never looked at the church like that. But I've always listened on the good in the church. It was a little different too. But I've always seen more good than bad in the church. I have.
Right.
I've never really looked at the hypocrisy of it.
Right.
Because I've learned that we are hypocrites. I've never really seen that. I have seen the church change. I will say that.
Right.
I've seen it change. And I did figure out that motherboard run that church. I do know that.
Man.
Them women in there, boy, and they run it with an iron fist. So nothing happened until them sisters okay it. And I mean nothing. I don't care what them men say. Ain't nothing happened until them sisters okay it.
That's the first person you need to come to is the motherboard. That's the first person. People, you trying to get in good in the church, got to go sit down with the motherboard. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, what can be done to reestablish the church's position in our households, particularly with the young brotherhood, how could we reestablish, not only just the church. See, I don't want to put it all on the church and say, oh, it's just they just feel that way about the church. I'm sure they feel the same way about the mosque, same way about the temple. So what could we do to reestablish that connection there and say, this is a place where you can go and get help and you can go and get support?
What can we? Oh man, the church would have to change. I mean,
how?
And I've heard, I've heard a man, name is Mr. Farrakhan. I've heard Mr. Farrakhan say that.
Okay.
A day may come. I don't want to say may. I really want to say will, but I think he said may. They may come when they're going to come up in the pulpit and snatch the preacher down and kick him out the church.
Who's
all
they?
The games and tomfoolery you playing with.
Who's they?
Because we need real leadership.
Yeah, who's the they that's going to come in the pulpit and knock the preacher down?
I'm talking about the members in the church. I'm
okay.
saying, now ain't no women going to go up there and do that. So obviously it's got to be the men going to go up in that pulpit, snatch that preacher or that pastor out of there.
Okay.
Because all these games you play.
Okay.
Because we do need real leadership.
True.
So the church, and like I said, I know more good about the church than I do bad. So I don't want to make it sound like, I know a lot of good. But the church was really, when I say change, it really has to change, to get the young man's attention, young black men aren't that hard. It isn't that hard to get their attention. You have to know, their nature. One, certain things are really easy. Men don't watch football or basketball every Sunday or during the week for no reason.
Right.
So why men watch sports like that? Because men are drawn to aggression. That's just a man. You can study little boys. Look at the little boys. Look at the little girls.
Right.
Why the little boys are wrestling and tussling and with each other? Little girls don't do that. They're playing with the dog, not that little boy.
Yeah.
Man, they out there in that grass. They keep getting dirty. And then the mama like, I just put some clothes on you. Why are you getting dirty? You shouldn't have bought him the name brand clothes. Right. He's a boy. Don't buy him that. Go to Walmart and get him some $5 or $6 jeans. He's going to get him dirty anyway.
Tough skins?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, brother.
Yeah.
It's just a complex problem, and we just trying to attack it as best as we can. Let me move on down the line, man, because we got a couple more. We don't know how to career build, so nobody's really. We don't have it should be like I keep talking about the NBA. As soon as you come in, you go straight to the rookie symposium, and you got to go through that to move on to the next step, right? We should have something like that, and I'm working on it. We should have something like that too, where they have to go through something to get to. They have to go through something to get to the next level. Not have to, but it's very advantageous for them to get this training, get this teaching, so that they can move on and be successful at the next level. We just don't have something set up like that. But as far as career building, we don't sit our children down and most of the time and say, okay, look, these are your options. You could go to a trade school, you could go to college, you could go to you could go to the military, you could go here, you could go there, you could go to Job Corps, you can do this or that, or you can start your own business, whatever. You can at least try it. We don't sit them down and have these options with him, go over their options with them. So it's hard for them to. We pretty much gotta let them figure it out on their own. The other side of that is, like you and I have, because we got sons, their heads are like bricks. You try to tell them what to do and save them a lot of headache and heartache, and they just don't listen. And they go their own way and end up pushing themselves 10 years behind what it would have been if they would have just listened to you in the first place, right? But that's the problem that we have, is this would go back to the hip-hop thing. Their hip-hop culture taught them not to trust nobody. Don't trust nobody older than you.
Right.
Because, they want to enslave you. But they don't realize that they just got played by that. The 0.001% of rappers that actually making money at it. I mean, come on, man. Everybody ain't making all that money at that. But they'll say, hey, if you listen to us, you gonna make some money. So we need some really real careers. Accounting, STEM careers, scientists, electricians, nation building skills.
Right.
But unfortunately, like I said, we don't have a centralized situation yet. I'm working on it. We don't have a centralized situation yet to where we can just come in and, okay, you graduate high school, here, you go to this class right away. Boom. Class going to, give you the basics on everything. Now you can, after graduating that class, then you can have a better idea of how to, what's in front of you and what you need to do. So that's career building. We're not getting taught about career building typically. Next one is, now, Brother Jarvis, this one right here is really the knockout punch a lot of times. And that's, we don't know how to pick life partners. Nobody really trains us how to pick a life partner. You know what I mean? Like what to look for, right? Because like you said, you really don't develop your taste buds till you get a little older, right? But there's some common things you will want, regardless to your physical taste buds that you would want. There's some things you're going to want. You're going to want a woman that can cook, right? You're going to want a woman that can at least cook. You're going to want a woman that's easy to get along with.
Right.
You're going to want a woman that's feminine.
Right.
I remember this. There's a show called Seinfeld. You ever heard of this show, Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in the show Seinfeld, they had an episode with this girl that Jerry was dating, and she looked good except for her hands. Her hands, she had man hands. They called her man hands. And so she had these big old hands like a man. And so he ended up having to just let her go because he was like, I can't take it. I can't take it. You know what I mean? If you want somebody feminine, brother, you want femininity from a woman. You know what I mean? So, but most of all, this is my thing. I'm gonna tell you, you pick something that you feel is a deal breaker. But I'm gonna pick a deal breaker right now on picking a life partner. A life partner have to be able to know when to back off. They stand their ground, but when they got to know when to back off and know when to see. Most women think you weak when you back off, but in actuality, you stronger when you back off because you got the strength to realize I don't have to be right all the time. I can let this man be right, and if it don't work out what he talking about, then I can pick up where I left off. But most women don't get that, especially in a what I wanted to say, a male. They're being masculine framework women. They feel like if I back off, then I lost, and it's all costs. I cannot lose at all costs. That is the worst thing that could happen. So, picking a life partner, brother, you could pick the wrong life partner, man, and you could be not only in debt, not only emotionally broken, not only, it's just so many problems that you could have just picking the wrong partner. Just picking somebody who you say, hey, well, this person got a big old butt and a cute smile. And next thing you know, she ripping your life apart. When it ran through your bank account, you know what I mean? Got all these life insurance policies on you. I remember, man, they didn't catch this lady until she was on her fourth husband. She was on her fourth husband. And what she would do was she would marry she was an older lady. She would marry these older dudes. They was always older than her by about 10 years. And she was like 55 when she started doing this. And she would always marry these older cats she made sure they had some kind of ailment where they needed care. And so, yeah, man. And so the first dude she hooked up with, he died. Actually, her first husband, he died of natural causes. Left her all the money and everything. She spent all that money up. So she went and found another cat who had money, but he had ailments. Next thing you know, man, this dude was, they wasn't even married 6 months, man. This dude was dead. Yeah. Wow. Same thing happened to another cat and another cat. And it was going to happen to the fourth cat. Because they was like, wait, everybody this girl married died. What's going on? Something's going on here. And so when the last dude got sick and he went to the hospital, they put armed guards around him and they wouldn't let him come near him. He started getting better. Next thing you know, they started looking through stuff, and she was putting antifreeze. Huh?
What did you say?
She was putting antifreeze.
Yeah,
antifreeze. Antifreeze in his food.
Yeah.
Man, she wasn't no joke.
You got up to 4 people.
Yeah, she got up to 3. Where she personally killed, she got to 3. She was working on the 4th one. And that's when they caught her. It was like, wait a minute, man.
Right.
This chick, every time she married somebody, they die. What the hell's going on? But yeah, man. Picking a life partner, that's such a complex thing. We're going to probably talk about that at another time. But that's something that needs to be definitely gone over. Definitely a lot of thought needs to go into that. Even as women, would you say, I would say even women that you go out with, just maybe they ain't a life partner yet, but they just somebody you said, oh, this girl's cute. She seems like she got a nice personality. Why don't we go out? I think we could have fun if we just went out together. I think you need to know, kind of at least be able to get along with somebody before you're going to spend a lot of time with them. Because you get out there with somebody and you find out you can't get along with them because they got some type of boss mentality or something going on with them. And you're like, what? I didn't see this before. And when you see it, you got to know when to bounce.
Right.
You know what I mean? Another thing is, man, a lot of us brothers, we got trauma, man, from whatever, man, from the upbringing, from our parents, from bullies, from whatever, man, whatever we got going on. And there's nothing wrong with going to get counseling or therapy and nothing like that. There's nothing wrong with that. We need to be more active in doing that. This is black people. We stigmatize people for going to get help, but our counterparts will get help and thrive. They'll come out of it and thrive. Meanwhile, we will keep the ball of self-destruction rolling on ourselves and on our families because we don't want to go get no help to get over some kind of childhood trauma or some kind of trauma that happened 5 years ago. For example, a lot of men are, they traumatized over, the emasculation that their mothers gave them, trying to calm them down, right? In slavery time, women would emasculate you to try to save your life. Because they said if you flex on the master like this, the master gonna kill you. So I got to emasculate you now to save your life. But we don't need that anymore. They could throw that out. Right? So, but still, a lot of these single mothers emasculate these boys, and then they got up going out here trying to prove they're a man by, slaying all these bodies. Safely or not, most of the time not, and all kind of hell break loose. So we got to work on getting past these traumas, and the best way to do that is to go get some professional help. And of course, one of the last ones I want to use is we don't know how to create constructive goals and how to stick to them. Like, people will. I remember, people lie, right? We all lie, but some of us are trying to stop it, right? But we don't mean to, and we have gone as a society learned that lying was a strategy of handling certain situations, right? You break up with somebody and you say, "Oh, it's not you, it's me." Because you don't want the person to go bananas, right?
Yeah, because you did wrong.
Yeah, well, it might be the other person. It might just be you're not attracted. You're no longer attracted to them anymore. Like you said, man, women change, man, on a dime. You'll be the top pick, and you're all good, man, until somebody else start floating around. Somebody else starts sniffing around, man, then now you are, you get put back. You get put back. And then when you get put back, you don't even know it. you don't even know it, man. By the time you find out, hey, you know what, I think we should take some time apart. By the time you figure it out, man, somebody's already, smashing.
Yeah, somebody already in.
Yeah, somebody's already in. So
she's monkey. What they call it, monkey. That one comedian called it monkey barding. She's holding on to you, but you holding on to somebody else.
Yeah.
Now that she's strong with somebody else, she's gonna let go of you.
Yeah, and see. The good news is that's their right to do. See, they're able to do that when they're younger. They're able to do that. You able to do it when you older. When you're older, and you don't even have to monkey bar them, you can let them go. And they still come running back. Right? So, I'm saying, we just need to be able to focus on the goals that we have and making some constructive goals that'll help us with our faith, our finances, and our fitness to help us be in a better position to actually take care of a sister. So that's my list of.
Not only that. Realistic goals also. Goals that everybody can't be a rapper. You have to be exceptional.
You can't be a 50-year-old rapper.
No.
I'm gonna be a rapper. How old are you? 53? Oh, really? You think people gonna want to listen to your record? Yeah. What you gonna be talking about? Stocks?
Yeah.
We be rapping about these stocks.
Huh?
Huh?
A subject nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah, we be rapping about my granddaughter. Oh, man. Yeah, man, you're right. It should be realistic goals. But this is just, like I said, this is just a small list. I mean, we couldn't go over everything. We just went over a small little list. Now, as we always do, Brother Jarvis, as we always do, we try to find the fix. We try to find a way to bring balance back into it and try to get our people back on the right track. What can we do to get our people back on the track as far as getting black men to do better in relationships as well as financially?
What can we do?
What can we do? Like you say, it's always going to take a big thing. I mean, we're talking about a big revolution. I understand that. We're talking about this thing is more complicated than just a one-word answer, but what can be done now to move the skillet? What can be done? Maybe one or two things can be done right this second to try to move the skillet a little more,
As far as, be a little more specific with the question, please. What can we do?
Okay, what can we do? Since black men are failing at an alarming rate as far as being productive citizens, and that is because of of course it all stems from slavery, but moving forward, we gave all these lists. We gave a list of different things that are specific that are happening, that why black men are not being successful. And so relationship wise, financially wise, as a group, we got a small percentage of black men that are doing okay. Some are smaller percentage, even more than that, smaller percentage than that are actually doing really well. We talking about the masses. What can be done? What can be said to put the masses back on course to try to go for their dreams or go for be successful? What is your what is your flair that you putting out there to try to help the brotherhood get in a better place?
Wow. Personally, it's just a lot of talk. But talk is really nothing. Most young black men judge and are judged. We really judge off our results. So talk is just that. It's just talk. It's gonna have to be done as far as what can we do. Everything small increments. I mean, as a whole, a big answer. There's no big answer. I mean, right now, I just kind of like try to talk. I mean, just to give a little example, I don't want to use the word correct, but I shared with a young brother because he said something. He said referred to sisters as work, and I said, pulled the brother to the side, him and another young brother, and I said, I don't refer to sisters as work. I said that she is a very serious creation.
Here we go.
I would never,
I said, here we go, Brother Jarvis. Here we go.
Yeah. That's pretty much how they took it. Yeah, that's pretty much how they took it. And I'm like, I don't refer to her as work. She's not work. And I say, don't I try to leave her in high regard. I try. I really, really try. And
Right.
there's gonna be little things like that, to let her know and to remind myself, she is special.
Right.
Now, it's easy for me to say that, but young black men look at me and say, you say all that about sisters, but when I act like an a-hole, they'll come talk to me before they talk to you.
It's true.
And I can't argue with that. And that's sad. But all that has to change. It's not going to change overnight. It goes back to what you said about the hip hop culture. Her bagging bodies or her talking, provocatively.
Yeah.
All that has to change. You don't have to talk like that or be like that or act like that to get the attention of a man. If you really knew how we thought, or we know how y'all wouldn't even have to wear makeup.
Yeah.
We ain't got to do too much of nothing.
Yeah.
If you know us as men, you ain't got to do too much of nothing to get our attention.
Yeah. But it's the type of brothers they're looking for, though. You know what I mean? They're looking for a certain type of brother, not knowing that that brother ain't good for them. And by the time they figure it out, man, it's too late. They already been dragged down the drain. Sorry to cut you off, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. Like I said, just what can I do? Really now, just talk and, I don't believe in acting successful. That is the thing today, because if you talk to the young black man and or woman, perception has become reality.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think perception is reality, but if you ask them, perception is reality.
Yeah.
And I just tell them, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Yeah. No, perception is just that.
Yeah.
Perception.
Yeah.
The perception is real. If you talk big and bad, you big and bad.
Right.
You talk big and bad, but can you fight?
Yeah.
Anybody can talk a fight.
Yeah.
Like Mike Tyson said a long time ago. Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until they get hit.
Till you get hit. Everything's looking good until you get hit.
Until you get hit.
Yes, sir.
Everybody got a plan until they get hit.
Yes, sir.
Then once they get hit, everything changes.
Yeah.
So, again, how do we change that perception?
Yeah.
And change perception to reality.
Yeah.
There is no, like I said, no one word, we have to deal with that. And getting, even with the lies, it's gotten so bad, hell, people lie to themselves.
Yeah.
Like I said, all that big talk or, people just lie to themselves.
Yeah.
Now Muhammad Ali said, I was the greatest.
Yeah.
But he really was the greatest.
Yeah.
He proved it.
Yeah.
You got people saying they're the greatest, but you ain't done nothing.
Yeah.
You full of yourself for what? You ain't done nothing.
Sir.
But, today's society, from what I talk to some sisters, the big girl tell herself she fine, but you out of shape. But she tell herself she fine.
Yeah.
But she tell herself that.
Yeah.
Why are you fine but you out of shape? I'm fine. But you out of shape.
You just can't tell a woman the truth, man. They want the truth, but then when you tell them the truth, you a hater. So you just, what I'm saying? They don't want the truth. If you say, hey, no, like old boy on the channel telling old girl, hey, you average at best. You just, they don't want the truth. And then when you tell them the truth, you a hater. You just hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't matter. That's the truth of that. Yeah. But like I said, with myself, it's just a lot of talk. And, myself, getting back to, my faith, I try to be strong. I try to, I do believe, but at the same time, it is really true. Without God, you really can't do anything.
Man.
Because you live on this planet long enough, or you live long enough, you go through a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And after a while, you can't handle that pain. You got to turn somewhere and do something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's when you realize it's bigger than me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I used to work with a brother who's retired,
Yeah.
and he was in the Navy.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what, Brother Jarvis? He said, you know, I found out there on that ship when ain't nothing around us but water. Just one ship, us on this boat, nothing but water. He said, if I was to jump in this ocean and drown, nobody would ever find me
Wow.
because there's so much water out there.
Wow.
He said, it lets you know how insignificant you are. It's a whole big world out there.
Yeah.
And you can literally get swallowed up in it.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, we, as a black man, as a community, we don't know. There's a whole world out there. You know, but we're so, it's kind of like the gangbanger. You know, Hoover, cuz, Hoover. Okay, or 60s, cuz. Okay, 60s run from 60th Street to 69th Street. That's as far as you can go?
Yeah.
You can't go past 69th?
Nope.
But you claiming 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't go past 69.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a whole world out there.
Yeah.
There's a world bigger than just your community.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, sir.
So,
I feel you, man. I feel you.
You know, yeah, I mean, like I said, I just kind of talk. I mean, there's nothing too, I can't say there's nothing big you can do. There's a lot of big things that can be done. But unless you have mass appeal, you know, like maybe a rapper, because I don't know, Malcolm X said a long time ago, since when did we start making our entertainers leaders? You know, just because you can sing a song or rap a song or play a guitar or do something, that's not a leader in our community. They shouldn't be looked upon like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Or that person can put that ball in the hoop.
Yeah.
That's not a leader. They can play basketball.
Yeah.
I'll make them a leader.
And most of the time they don't want to be. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People got mad at Michael Jordan for that.
Yeah.
You know, he said he never wanted to be that. But we put it on him.
Yeah, man. We just not knowing no better, man. We just don't know no better. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they say, hey, our people, they'll listen to you. You got that kind of money, they'll listen to you. But they're more listen to it.
Again, perception. Because it's like, wow, Michael Jordan got all that money. He know what he's talking about.
Right.
No, we got all that money because he took a basketball and he put it in a hoop.
Yeah.
That don't make him a leader. Perception. We think they are. I mean, we can talk football. You know, in football, you hear every sports medium there is. They'll swear the quarterback is the leader of the team, and it's like, no, the leader of the team is that one in the locker room who everybody listens to.
Yeah.
And normally it's not the quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, but they made the quarterback because he's white most of the time.
Yeah.
The leader of the team.
Yeah.
You know, but reality is no. The leader of the team, go to that locker room. They'll tell you who the alpha dog is.
Yeah.
It's already established.
Yeah.
Let them tell you. They'll tell you that. But the media makes the quarterback the leader. But that's what America does.
Yeah. Well, they're just more
Unlike
comfortable
God.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike God, they don't let leaders be born. They make them.
Yeah, man, but now you talking about God, man, and God got so many weird ways of doing stuff, man. The people don't like that, man. The people don't like that. I'm your pick? Or why I got to get all these lumps on my head then?
Yeah.
I got to go through all this, and I'm your pick?
Right.
I don't want to be your pick.
Right.
You know what I mean? The people just don't want to go through it. They just feel like, man, you know, if I got to do all that to be close to God, hey, peace to the Middle East, God. I'll check you later.
Right.
But until, like Mike Tyson said, till you get that hit in the stomach, right? You get that diagnosis of lupus, a diagnosis of whatever, right?
Yeah. Everybody got a good game plan.
Yep. Now you calling on this man. Calling on this man. Please help me. Please help me.
Right.
Please help my son. Please help my daughter. Whatever, right?
Right. Right.
So, I mean, you know, but you know, I'm getting that, you know, you feeling like, hey man, you know, God gonna have to get involved with this situation. He gonna have to, and he's gonna have to make some ways, you know, change some.
The cool part is God is involved in all of it. We just don't know it.
Right. What I mean, let me rephrase that. What I mean is, God is gonna have to impress upon the people that he's here, and he's always been here, and he, you know, he might have to do a little couple more things to impress upon them that he's here.
Right.
But it's the thing is, see, God know who's looking for him, so he's there. You know, if you looking for him, he here. You know, one thing he know, eventually, everybody gonna pass through that door. I don't care who you are, what you doing, whatever. Everybody's gonna pass through that door. So you eventually gonna have to come and pass through that door and say, "I've been looking for you.
Right.
Will you help me?"
Right.
Right. Now the question is, after he help you, or if he help you, are you gonna remember? Are you gonna try to use that to help other people? Are you gonna do it? Right. I mean, we can get into a whole thing about God and faith. So let me wrap this up. My feeling is the same. I feel like without God, man, we are finished. We don't have no hope of setting this thing right and surviving what's coming down the pipe. As we saw, well, I don't want to get into it, you know, what we saw as far as, you know, the Patriot group on the steps of Washington, that you know, it's, you know, certain people when they riot, it's cool, you know, and so it's not gonna be, even if people are left dead, it's cool, you know.
Right.
But so we're not ready for that situation, physically and emotionally and spiritually, then we may get caught up in it. And so what we need to do is figure out, in my opinion, how these young brothers go to a class, something that will give them a heads up on what they need to have their lives be good, so they don't be desperate, making desperate decisions and ending up in the prison system, which is pretty much what the plan is for them, is to have them end up in the prison system, swallowed up by the, you know, in the belly of the beast. So, young brothers, if you're listening, we wasn't trying to bash nobody. We just saying you got a lot that nobody's teaching you, and you need to come to sit down with cats like us who got the knowledge we want to teach you. It's just up to you whether you got the discipline to sit down and listen and learn. And we'll be here. If you want to go to life skills boot camps, life skills boot camps with an S, you can go there and you can get some more information about some of the things that we do, try to teach these young black men, some of the courses, some of the camps that we have to teach young black men how to be successful, and not how to be materialistic, but to just get their financial situation together so that you can have options on who to date, where to live, what to eat, and everything else. All right? All right, that was it. Any parting words, Brother Jarvis?
No, sir. That's more than enough.
All right. We will come back to y'all with another one in a little while. So don't go away. Hang tight. We'll talk to you when we talk to you. Peace.